Teresa kept her finances in a spreadsheet she updated every Sunday evening, not obsessively, methodically. There is a difference, though she had stopped explaining it to people who used those words interchangeably. She knew her balances, her recurring charges, her irregular expenses. She knew what things cost, and she planned accordingly. And she had been doing this since she was 22, and it had never once felt like a personality flaw, until her family started treating it like one. The promotion had come on a Friday. Senior analyst. She had driven home, changed into comfortable clothes, made pasta from scratch because cooking slowly was the way she processed good things, and gone to bed at a reasonable hour. She did not post about it. She told her mother, who said that was wonderful, and then asked if she'd heard from Donna lately. She had not heard from Donna. This was normal. Donna surfaced in intervals, when she needed something, when something good had happened to her, occasionally when she was lonely. Teresa had learned to receive her in whatever configuration she arrived, because the alternative was having no sister at all, and she wasn't ready for that. She found the charge on Monday evening. $3,400. Posted Friday. The same day as the promotion, as the pasta, as the reasonable bedtime. She stared at it long enough that the numbers stopped looking like numbers and started looking like a question she already knew the answer to. She opened the group chat she'd muted months ago, scrolled back 3 days. Donna, poolside, in a robe that cost more than Teresa's grocery budget, grinning at her own phone with the ease of someone on a vacation they believed they had earned. Teresa set her phone face down on the kitchen table. She sat there for a while in the quiet of her apartment. The careful, maintained quiet of a person who had built a life that worked, and she felt something she didn't have a clean word for. Not rage. Rage would have been energizing. This was more like the feeling of setting down something heavy you'd carried so long you'd forgotten it wasn't part of your body. She didn't call Donna. She opened her banking app and filed the dispute with the specificity of someone who does paperwork correctly on the first attempt. She froze the card. She found the resort's number and called and asked for the duty manager and explained, in the measured tone she used for difficult vendor conversations, that a family member had accessed her payment information without authorization, and that she was formally disputing the charge and requesting that any remaining balance on the reservation be flagged accordingly. The duty manager was professional. He confirmed the reservation details. He told her that if the dispute was validated, the card on file would be declined and the guest would need to provide alternate payment at the desk. Teresa thanked him and ended the call and made tea she didn't drink. The texts began Tuesday morning. My card isn't working at the desk. Did something happen? Then, Teresa, they're asking me to pay again. This is embarrassing. Then, after 20 minutes of silence from Teresa's end, I know you know. Please just call me. Teresa read them in sequence. She typed 3 different responses and deleted all of them. What she wanted to say was too large for a text message, and also possibly too large for any conversation she could imagine having in the near future. She sent nothing. What she heard later, from the duty manager who called to confirm the dispute was processing, was that Donna had stood at the front desk for 40 minutes, that she had called someone, unclear who, that she had eventually produced a credit card of her own and paid, though from the manager's careful tone Teresa understood this had not been without difficulty. Her mother called that evening. Teresa answered because she always answered her mother, which was its own kind of information about her. Her mother said Donna was upset, that Donna felt humiliated, that surely there had been some misunderstanding and couldn't Teresa just, and here came the word Teresa had been waiting for, forgive. Teresa said, she spent $3,400 of my money without asking. Her mother said she knew, but Donna was struggling and Teresa had always been the strong one. And didn't that mean something? Teresa looked out her window at the street below, someone walking a dog, a couple arguing quietly outside a restaurant. The ordinary texture of other people's lives proceeding. I am tired, she said, of being strong enough for both of us. Her mother was quiet for a moment. Then she said Teresa's name in the soft way that meant she was trying, that she loved her, that she didn't have a better answer. Teresa said goodnight and meant it kindly. Fury. The dispute was confirmed 4 days later. The money returned to her account on a Thursday, appearing in her spreadsheet that Sunday as a negative expense, which is what accountants call something given back. She updated the cell. She closed the laptop. She didn't know what came next with Donna. She didn't know if the lawyer's letter her friend had suggested was the right move or simply the next escalation in a pattern that had no clean exit. She didn't know if protecting herself and losing her sister were the same thing or just felt that way right now. In this apartment, in this quiet. What she knew was the spreadsheet balanced. She wasn't sure yet whether that was enough.